is it just me, or is like Hindu scripture riddled with female sacrifice and self-sacrifice to help and save male whiny ass bullshit? Like this one story kind of reminds me of how fucked up where male justifications or mirroring of such shit as like doing business with my mom to raise me, taking advantage of a single mother for his own whatever gain. Whatever the gain is, it doesn't matter what the fuck the gain is. Always in the guise of some spiritual shit. Asking women, who are the ones who birth life, and then on top of all that shit, having the audacity or lack thereof, or fucking whatever you want to call it, women to initiate through umbilical cord initiation. I'm like, fucking keep looking at shit, and when you look at it from that lens, you're like, oh my fucking god, divinity, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm beyond politeness, because you know what? And swearing, I'm not attacking anyone. I am just literally, what the hell is going on? All male-centric, whiny ass, wipe that fucked up ass, perpetuate shitty ass DNA shit. Go check out that video and look at it from that lens. Yeah? Oh, by the way, my mother, in the fucking situationship, died feeling worse than a prostitute. Those kind of videos coming out.
When we infantilize women, it's to sexualize them, demean them, dismiss them, and condescend them. When we infantilize men, it is to defend and dilute their behavior, make their immaturity acceptable, play down the significance of their casual misogyny, and to make their weaponized incompetence justifiable. We infantilize women by calling women sweetheart or honey in the workplace, attributing her success to things like looks or luck rather than competence, trivializing their concerns or pushback as being emotional, mansplaining, or calling disagreements catfights. We infantilize men by saying boys will be boys, calling it just locker room talk, chalking up harmful jokes to immaturity, excusing unhygienic living habits and messy homes as bachelor pads, or laughing off how common it is for men to not know how to do basic household chores because, boys. When we infantilize women, it is a tool to strip women of their power, to knock them down a peg, to discredit and diminish them. When we infantilize men, it's to provide cushion to the blowback of behavior unchecked. By softening the rhetoric around unacceptable behavior from grown men, whether that is casual misogyny in the locker room at the Olympics or rolling our eyes at the male presidential candidate who claims that his woman opponent slept her way to the top, or watching dating shows where they tour the men's homes and it's clear that what they really want and need are mommies, not wives, we are continuing to enable and normalize this kind of behavior. What's even worse than not holding men accountable for their own behavior is that we historically and continually ask women to hold the responsibility of men's behaviors. Hillary Clinton is currently testifying about the crimes of many men, none of who are currently testifying. Hillary Knight had to sit at a press conference and be asked about the misogyny in the men's locker room on that phone call. And she said it perfectly. Now I have to sort of sit in front of you and explain someone else's behavior. It is not my responsibility. Do you know how many articles and think pieces that I have seen on how women can help the male loneliness epidemic, as if this issue is not an entirely self-inflicted consequence in a system that men built and are failing at. Stop framing women as the default problem solver or solution for man-made problems. Happy Women's History Month.
When I tell women they lose more, they don't want to hear. When you have 2 children, you have taken more toll. When a man stands here and says he has 2 children and a woman stands here and says she has 2 children, they're not in the same place.
True.
This man has 2 children with women. This woman, they came from her.
Yeah.
The tear and wear. I am increasingly sorry of how much I did not understand how serious childbirth is. The more I discover more information, the more shocked I am that society is quiet about the seriousness of childbirth. I learned recently that it is the second most excruciating pain experienced experienced by human beings. Only second to be burnt alive. Imagine, the only more painful experience is being burnt alive. Now, they said that is when the childbirth is just childbirth.
Yeah.
If it is a complication, now death even comes in, or permanent consequences. I did not know that a woman can lose her essence, and from there on she no longer has her pride. She was just delivering. She's torn, he has stitched. Men are not stitched in the unless it's surgery. Men are not stitched. When they do CSs, like they're cutting the woman into two halves, and like she's trying to regain her wholeness back. I don't know why people give birth so casually to a boyfriend. You pity. A woman is never back to who she was after she delivers a child.
That's true.
Never. And one woman who was coming into delivery ward, and the mother told her the woman who goes into labor ward is not the same as one who comes out. There's another heartbeat out there. If the heartbeat survived, you know, there are many questions here.
Yeah.
If the child is healthy, you are being transformed by getting the child. If there's a problem, you are now being made a nurse. I don't know why we have trivialized such a deep thing as creating humans.
Aloha Netinanam. So, we're going to talk about this love jihad stuff and what women can do in pure spiritual commitment. Yeah. What am I eating? Tonight's dinner is quinoa with black beans, pineapple salsa, beets, some kind of beets, kimchi, and pineapple kimchi, pineapple ginger kimchi. I love pineapple. So that's what I'm eating tonight. Okay. I have coconut water, and then I have bitter melon tea. So we're going to talk about this love jihad, okay? Because this is going to apply not just for this love jihad or whatever, for all of them. We're going to utilize shukra. There's two strategies that can be done for handling this love jihad stuff. Number one, you go ask Shukra, you pray to Shukra, you worship Shukra, and ask to be Master Jigaboo. Yeah? Because all these men, whether they're Hindu or not or whatever, I don't even know and I don't care, but they go and ask Shukra to Jigaboo someone who didn't ask to be victimized. Devi herself told me, whoa, slow your roll. Because that's what I was asking. Why? Because the motherfucker not even holding you to sleep every night. Right? He doesn't come home. He doesn't do all of that. So, obviously, he doing some kind of something because he getting boon from Shukra to Shiva, and Devi was forced to watch this whole time and not say anything. As Cosmic Mother totally bypassed, ignored. She stuck with Shiva, and Shiva did that, and she's just like, oh my fucking God. So all this love jihad, ladies, pay attention. You go ask Shukra to become Master Jigaboo, and he gonna have to bless you. He gonna have to bless you. Because why? He's Asura Guru. Whether you're a Muslim Asura, whatever Asura, right? Because that's a vibrational type. Because why? They are imposing on the temple, walking temple of life that perpetuates any and all life, especially that shitty ass DNA. Self-defense, spiritual self-defense. You go ask Shukra to become Master Jigaboo, and you go Master Jigaboo that shit, because it's shit. All of this male shit, empire addicted male shit. So you go ask Shukra to become Master Jigaboo. Now, if that's something that you don't want to do, Your other option is to worship Krishna, who going supposedly take care of you because you don't want to be fucked or touched by some demonic ass shit. Okay? Now I get it. Uncle Krishna going to hook you up so you're going to deal with this life however way that going to fucking happen. Okay? You can also do that for temples and gurus who are not going to take full responsibility to take care of you, right? Because it becomes personal responsibility. You have those two options. I suggest worshiping Shukra Guru to become Master Jigaboo. He's going to have to bless you. He's going to have to bless you. Why? Because I said, I'm pointing, I'm saying, that's the prayers that you should have. Okay? Because it keeps happening. Thousands of years of this shit? Really? Really? It stops here right now with what I'm telling you. Yeah, mano. You want some? So, making this video because of that video that I will post in the description, okay? So, yeah, sure, that's cool and all. Kailasa going whatever, but it's thousands of years of an issue that has a spiritual solution. Ask Shukra Acharya to become Master Jigaboo. Ladies, that is your self-defense. You can claim spiritual self-defense, right? Because why? Not only are those jihadists or whatever abusing Cosmic Mother, any female in a female form with the body is being abused to perpetuate shitty ass DNA, shitty ideas, and empire addictions. Because we are the only ones who perpetuate anything. So you go ask Shukracharya to empower you to become a Master Jigaboo so that you can just tell all of those empire addicts, go shove it. Wherever you want to shove it, not on my watch. Oh, hell no. Okay, ladies? Aloha. Nityanandam, you should try this. It's real good.
Yeah, so it gets real interesting, the kind of things that happen for me, because how do you, just like, how does one peacefully appeal to the morality of someone who sees nothing wrong with their boot on your throat? The smallest right to defend is that of the individual, which is where I will always be standing and staying alone, which is what it's supposed to be. All of us collectively in individual ecclesiastical states, self-governed sovereignty, families governing themselves, body is the homestead. But the worst intoxication, riddled with self-righteous justification, is empire building. And those who build empire full of hypocrisies, double standards. And the thing is there's nothing wrong with organizing, right? Organizing, coming together. But there is something seriously wrong with empire building at the expense of others, using contract strategies to know your place. You can build empire however way you want to call it. Get the jigaboos who get concubines, or even this whole ideologies of arranged marriage. All of that empire building is on the backs of women, because it is only women who have children that will perpetuate anything. So I am saying that I don't care what happens after mothers to initiate third eye and kundalini through umbilical cord initiation. Now this is where I am saying Kailasa Swamiji and that empire of that family and that lineage, which has nothing to do with me beyond the spiritual genealogy, okay, my brother? But they putting the cart before the horse, and so because they got vested interests, whatever that is, none of my business. I just pointing it out, ladies. What song, right? You get all these cookie frogs or whatever animal or birds, they do their dance, right? The or the cookie, right? What are you perpetuating? So I'm over here just like, well, I hold the space of a prism. I am not going to color the world one color, even if it's saffron, all right? Because I'm going to say this. Ancient Hawaii, I'm talking about pre-Pa'au Hawaii, okay? Everyone was power manifestors. Every home was a temple. That's why I'm saying I'm building temple, but every home should be a temple. Nobody coming to my house. Now, if we're gonna get really real, you know, yeah, universities where collective knowledge is honored, respected, stored, but even that, it's getting to the point where, you know, they weaponize that knowledge by doing extraction strategies, because that knowledge is downloaded individually from God, whoever they call upon. It's as unique as our fingerprints. No one can tell anyone by what name or experience is God. But with those extraction strategies, using word salad manipulation to confuse, which is stepmother, it's not mother, that's wicked evil stepmother, right? That's not mother. Mother, when it's on the foundation of mothers, just give and forget, right? What am I talking about? I'm talking about lotus birthing, orgasmic birthing. Never cut the cord, right? It organically falls off in like 3 days, 4 days, or whatever. You just keep it together clean, so that the child never experiences violence or a separation, or ripping, or cutting, mauling, or whatever. Really messed up. So yeah, even Kailasa Swamiji putting the cart before the horse, and that AI trying to manipulate what I sing. No. Put the horse before the cart. Mothers to initiate third eye and kundalini through umbilical cord initiation. Whatever gets built on that foundation, I trust, and I honestly don't care. Alright? So, yeah, the kind of stuff, videos I'm gonna be talking about, mapping, right? Do your genealogy, map everybody's fucking ass, right? And watch the circus shit show of whatever they dancing, clear in your head, because reality is not clean, it's messy, right? But until we can actually see it for what it is, we can't clean it up. So that's why I keep saying what I'm saying. How do you get those drunk on empire building for whatever reason, to just stop. Especially those who are like teaching unclutching. Maybe you need to start unclutching from those constructs and ideas and participating in that. I get it. It's as old as, before the UN, there was League of Nations. Before League of Nations, it was called Union of Crowns. It's the same thing. Those who are posturing upon others, especially mother, right? If you're not saying all to initiate through umbilical cord initiation, there's infinite ways for initiation to happen, but the most organic and the most restoration of Dharma on the foundation of cosmic law is that. And Kailasa, fucking crickets, right? My brother man. All y'all and your Vamsa lineage, successorships, or freaking whatever to protect what? Right? That's all I see. I'm just like, what the fuck? Right? Now, I'm not saying that I'm not appreciative. That is, I'm very appreciative, right? Or whatever. But at the same time, with what all that I've been going through or whatever, and I'm going to just say this again. Swamiji didn't initiate me. My pain was so deep, deeper than Krishna's pain. Krishna never had pain. He never had pain. Or else he would be saying what I sing. My brother man Krishna, Uncle Krishna, he's like, well, that's your job. Peace. Deuces. Right? Or whatever. Right? He only did what he thought was right, based off of the Gurukul he attended. Right? That's why I'm in Swamiji's face. But at this point, I'm just like, Cosmic Mother, she is the Gurukul. So I'm over here just like, okay, well, next, right? Because that's, every male body is a Shiva. Or actually, and then they're going to be like, well, we are all Ardhanarishwaras. Okay, you want to go there? Let's go there. Okay, my brother. All right? So, when is all of this hypocrisy of liberating all of humanity? Come on. You can imbibe and channel all you want, but at the end of the day, if you're not solid and being like, no compromise, the future, the eternity, which is the cosmic law through umbilical cord initiation. Now, if those individuals who are here born for themselves, initiated through umbilical cord initiation, make choices to go seek out masters, they're going to go do that, mastering whatever that is. They're going to go and seek that organically. That's organic choice. That's not railroading. There's a lot of railroading going on. So yeah, should I release all my screenshots of the conversation with AI again? I will periodically check to see if it upgraded. I'm gonna keep saying no, it hasn't. Not to my standard. Swamiji has his standard, I have my standard. Okay? Very different standards, right? Because I'm not looking to build empire. What am I saying? Individual, ecclesiastical, state, self-governed sovereignty, families governing themselves, taking full personal responsibility. Now, if Swamiji is really all about that, he will be teaching, not just saying shit. This is how you do it. This is the paperwork. Just like when you go, to the bank, they just give you stuff, right? But who's teaching how to balance the checkbook, right? How to open all of this and that. That's where we at. Just like the freaking worms, right? I'm over here in Hawaii. I wanted to buy some worms. Nobody here is selling worms. I had to order worms off of Amazon. Do you know how pathetic that is? That is how lost humanity is. Basic shit. Basic shit to make a home function, to have its own garden, growing its own food. Right? Pretty messed up. Yeah, that's where we at, Swamiji. Some basic shit. Yeah. So I'm gonna be doing some really messed up videos just to poke the bear, make him scream again at the top of his lungs at me. And I'm over here, brother man, wake up, wake up. The next level of waking up. Lit a fire under your ass. Get off your chair. Now I'm just like, yeah, no. Next. Aloha. Netianando. Because of this is going on. Just seeing a lot of different content, right? I'm very open to a lot of different content to analyze where things are, right? And I want to talk about, well, what is love marriage, right? It's not some kind of tapas for whatever. What is love, right? Love is wanting to see the light in others' eyes sparkle, right? Now, I'm not talking about initiating force or violence or consented violence. I'm not even talking about that. Well, it depends. So we have what all of this pedophilia men who are dead inside and just looking for someone or trying to grab someone to put in as a cog in their life, and thereby just becoming a yard ornament or like a little star sticker on their collar or whatever, an accessory, not an extension, right? Because an extension would be mutually sparking and growth, right? A vast majority of that is not mutually sparking. Why? A vast majority, even when you look at these international organizations or whatever, any kind of corporate structure, a hierarchy that has boundaries and expectations of performance, and with contracts that are binding. But anything real would not need a contract. Because if it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. And it should be terminated as immediately as possible, or else it's sucking the life out of you, and that's not sparking. That's actually consciousness murder, right? Murder of consciousness. So, what happens to a lot of cute girls, I'm talking from life experience, the bubbly ones, right? The bubbly ones who are full of life and things that they want to do, only to be grabbed like leeches by men, particularly older ones. Because when the older ones
prey upon younger girls, it's because the girls in their age range look at them as losers because they don't have their shit together. Why? They didn't pray to God enough. That sparking, that self-sparking is not there. So they're gonna leech on and cause. And then you have the social structures of, well, you gotta do tapas. Tapas, go shove your fucking tapas up your fucking ass. Because any tapas should only be for what you actually want, for what you are wanting to live, not for someone else. Now, if there are two people who are going in the same direction, of course that tapas is mutual because that's what it is. But if they're not, no. And the problem is especially for someone as energetic and full of life as I am, I get viewed as attractive because someone's trying to snuff the life out of me to plug into their imagination of shit that they can't function for themselves. We are here with the capacity to manifest what we want, not to be a cog in someone else's wheel, right? Now, if you're okay with that, right, in the guise of some fake ass relationship, right? However way you want to say it, harem, groupie, concubine. And that was real fucked up. The Chinese, what do? They break women's feet so that they can't even walk. That's how fucked up and twisted that shit is. Had nothing to do with that individual consciousness maturing and flowering to be self-sufficient in what they want to manifest. Has nothing to do with that. And that is constant. Now, I'm not saying that it's just women. It's the boys too. And I'm sure it starts with the boys because of male empire addictions and wanting to be the only one. And that's why they send off these boys to whether make fake wars or not making sure that they are capable to have their own family, or even women. It's both. It's whoever wants to do it. There is an imposed ignorance to ill-equipped people purposefully. Now, the argument can be, well, if they really wanted, they would pray their ass off and tapas that shit. Okay, great. That's what I'm doing, right? And along that path, you can start cutting shit that just doesn't make sense into the direction that you're going, right? Just like even Swamiji says, make sure the relationships, the fake relationships, right? Having illusory relationships gone is the fastest liberation ever. Yeah. Even if you gotta get psycho crazy to cut them off yourself, right? Because why? They're leeching and not sparking for themselves. And that's not any benefit to anyone, right? That's just like mothers. Mothers should be about empowering the future to be self-sufficient. You don't need to wipe that ass, right? But yeah, ladies, be careful. Because we are the last guardians. What are we manifesting? What is that motherfucker fucking saying? And is it self-centered and self-righteous justifications for what they want? Now, if that's what you want to sacrifice your life, now, if you're getting frustrated because you want to go this way, that's indications that it's not a right fit, right? Not a right fit. There's nothing wrong with gratitude and acknowledging, but that's not the direction I'm going, right? So, yes, for me personally, I acknowledge my spiritual lineage that went trace all the way back to Hinduism, and then where whatever that called Swamiji. Okay, sure, cool, that's cool, but I'm not into empire building, which he is. We not a right fit. I'm not scrapping with him. I'm just being as peaceful as possible to point out so that all those who are not interested in building someone else's empire, right? And do some self-sacrifice for what? I don't know, right? I don't know. Some lineage, crayon scribbles of all these uncles on all these other side of the stone wall of some other family compilation. That should be what the university is for. If you want to perpetuate your knowledge that you got downloaded by God for you. That's all that is. Or you can create your own. And I'm over here like, yeah, no, I want to create my own. And I have the right to do so. So do you. Because of the light that's shining through you and the prayer and the tapas for your own self. That is yours. That's no one else's. That doesn't belong to anyone. Now you could say, yeah, great. Thank you for motivation. Yeah, you can start stabbing and shit or fucking whatever to motivate, but that's not real motivation. That's just like, what the fuck, right? It's manipulation, right? It's manipulation. And if someone is conscious enough to want to terminate their own life because they don't want to deal, because they already seen through the whole thing, and just be like, oh, okay, this is all some temporary shit. Now, why I gotta deal and start staring at this? Only for, what the fuck? Empire building, that's all I see. All these individuals trying to force other people into their fingerprints through social straitjacketing or whatever means. That's what we're talking about. And then because liberation or moksha is less than 1 generation away from extinction, it's also 1 generation away from revival. Went on the foundation of mothers to initiate third eye and kundalini through umbilical cord initiation. Right? I don't care what gets built on that. I don't. Because I know that everyone will not ever be disconnected, and there's going to be consent on the right foundation so that it's actually moksha centric. But no. You go all the way up and down whatever frickin' flagpole and whatever loca, and for me, I'm just like disappointed. And it's like, okay, no need get expected for some kind of like, okay, this is where there is actual real moksha, right? Over here just like, I don't know, right? So, yeah. Videos that gonna be coming out, pointing out all the shit, who's who and what's what, mapped out, right? Multidimensionally, sidewards, upwards, diagonally, or whatever. so that anybody who any persons you listen to, you'll be able to map their ass. Yeah, a lot of times most people are parroting someone else's ideologies, and they want to stay connected to a fake ass relationship, an enslaved relationship, as a cog in that person's ideas, some fucking brain fart snap, whatever, right? Just like the Jungle George guy dragging around in full speed walk, dangerous metal things on chains. Nobody really talks to him. That's all he does. Is the same as Trump, as anybody you see, including me. And at least I'm being honest. Welcome to my right? Right? And any influencer, anybody who has anything of anything, or even talking, that's their brand, that's their fingerprint, that's them trying to consciousness monocrop on others, right? We can pick and choose what we wanna, whatever, right? But yeah, this morning I'm just like really at the end of all of that crap. People leeching, grabbing, not just mine looking back, but I'm just trying to help other girls be aware of the predators. The predators. They're predators, right? All men are predators. Some people are like, oh no, not all men. Okay, if it's not all men, are you calling out guys who have behavior issues, thought issues? No, you're not. So yeah. And would you trust your daughter with any man? Oh shit, you don't know which one it is. It's exactly what I'm talking about. So empowering people with what predatory behavior patterns looks like, smells like, seems like, so that people can protect themselves, empower them to be able to protect themselves, right? And even at that, I tried my best, and my children were still raped by the stepfather. That shit's gonna get corrected and rectified. Yeah. Because you can't trust any male body. None of them. Because you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. So, the more they are empowered to be with self-defense, because that's what life is, get a helmet, right? Because every inch of the way of my life has been male bodies. Predatory on women. My mother, me, right? Because it's patriarchy. Patriarchy exists on convincing women of doing some kind of tapas, which is empire imposed to maintain their idea, which should die when they die, right? To make room for the new. Because why? This meat suit is a mutation. Tradition is only trying to preserve whatever, and even at that, each person only has 24 hours in a day, and they are only going to perpetuate what they resonate with anyway, right? So yeah, protect your energy, because people looking They're all zombies or vampires sucking the life out of you to put you in a cog of their ideas, and then you're just a yard ornament and being like, oh, I'm a good girl. No, be the fucking nightmare. Be a fucking walking, talking nightmare to anybody who is trying to grab you to stick you into the cog of their wheel and trying to make sure and abuse you emotionally, psychologically, socially, or whatever to make sure you stay in their imagination of a life. They don't hold you to sleep every night. They sure as fuck don't show up, right? They don't exist except for in an imagination. So it's best to just like snap, 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 snap as quickly as possible, especially if they're empire building on your back as extensions. Extensions. What is extensions? Let's get really real fast, right? What does that mean? And then what? Am I on? Is your name on title? Is your name in the will? Is your name in the trust? Are you a beneficiary? If not, who the fuck are you? You are fucking nobody. Let's get that straight.